Oh, hello. Hello, hello. So I tried to do the stream yesterday. Fixing my mic. I think I'm okay. Tried to do the stream yesterday and my cat is sick, so same rules as yesterday, and it might end the same way. If my cat gets up, I'm gonna go take care of him, but he's asleep right now. Yesterday, I tried to do the stream, and about 5 minutes in, I felt this little tapping on my chair. And I just glanced over, and my cat was just sitting there staring at me, like, hey, get me food, take care of me. So then I did. Okay. I tried this game yesterday, right before I like streamed, and I got 666 in 6 minutes. It's pretty nice. Oops. I don't even know where to start with all my yapping, to be honest. So yeah, my cat was sick. Not appendicitis, pancreatitis is what he has, which is unfortunate. We took him to the vet. We actually took him to the vet. We had to take him in, like, this, as I'm sure some people know, the snow is crazy for some people in the world. It has been for a lot of people in the world. And he got sick like 3 days into the snowstorm, and it was completely unprecedented snow. Like, we were expecting only a little and got more than double what was expected. Dang. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to push it over there. So yeah, we had to drive through like super slick ice, and it was really scary. And I live like way out in the middle of nowhere, so every time we passed a house, I was like looking to see if they had like a truck. Not because like I wanted to be saved or like pulled out of a ditch, but I was gonna get out and run over and be like, hey, my cat needs taken to the vet right now. Can you please take my cat? And they probably would have. For what it's worth, people are actually pretty nice out in the country. They're just really racist. No, actually not out here. Not too bad. Not a unbelievable amount. Oh, I thought I could make that. Dang it. Thought I could make that too. Actually, I guess I wouldn't know, because I live like way out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I have one neighbor, and then it's miles before any others. But out in the country, they're pretty helpful typically before anything else, at least if it's like an emergency. Oh, I didn't realize my mouse was right in the middle of the screen. But the snow was crazy. It was literally more than double what they expected, or like what was forecast. Or what was the forecast was. I'm great at speaking, I promise. Also great at this game. But the snow is really fun, honestly. I was worried about all like the wildlife and stuff, because it's a common thing, unfortunately, for animals to die of like dehydration and stuff during winter times if they're not, I mean, even when they're familiar with the area, because all the water freezes over, and it was a lot. Nice. Anyway, so I don't know where to start with this. I went to the Met, which was really fun. The Met is an absolute labyrinth of a building, and I saw like 10% of it, maybe. It was crazy. At one point we were trying to leave, couldn't find an exit. We were like looking all around, and there were huge crowds of people near the exits, and apparently there were multiple exits, and shouldn't have done that. Dang it. Got a pineapple. So we were like looking around for all the exits, and we just knew it was downstairs because we were upstairs at one point. So we went downstairs and we couldn't really see around. We were just looking for where we came in. And some guy was like, hey, can I see your tickets? We're like, oh, we're actually trying to get out of here. And he just pointed behind us, and we saw this little exit sign over someone's head. And we're like, oh, didn't know we could exit here. Looking for the main entrance. Done that. The art was just amazing. So the first day we went, we only planned on going one day, but the first day we went, we went for like a little over an hour, looked at the ancient civilizations. Super, super awesome. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Specifically, actually, no, we went through Egypt, which was really fun. I mean, all the sarcophagi and stuff like that was much bigger in person than I expected, but it was also cool seeing like all the gender roles and stuff, how they worked in ancient Egypt, where it seemed more based on jobs than anything biological. Thought that was gonna fall. I tried to save it. But the first day we went through ancient museum or ancient civilizations. Egypt was really cool, and we didn't go through all of them either. It's just so much. Every time you walk through a door, it's a huge room, and like I saw the Met from the outside. I went from Central Park to the Met, and I was like, I saw this building. It can't be this big. It just couldn't be that big from the way it looked, and it was truly incredible. Dang it. Dang it. And then we went to parts of ancient China, I believe. And there were some cool things there because, hey, why are you guys not touching? Two pineapples. I saw this one area, I forget what it was, like what dynasty, but it was, it talked about how in this dynasty they liked to, like preserve, or not preserve because that's the wrong word because it's counterintuitive to that, they liked to celebrate their artifacts through everyday use. And obviously this isn't like the everyday use of a commoner would be doing this, but the royalty celebrated the use. Why are you guys not touching? There we go. But yeah, they celebrated their artifacts through everyday use. And I thought that was really interesting to see in a museum. Thought it was kind of funny to see in a museum. And then there was this other beautiful, beautiful mural, I guess. It was in the ancient China section. And I don't even know how to explain it. So you walk into this huge room again. A lot of them. And you walk into this huge room. I was very concentrated on that. And there's these two giant statues of Buddha, among other things, but on this wall the size of like a gymnasium is this huge, like, it's a mural, but its presence is overwhelming to like a domineering degree. And it was gorgeous. I could have stayed there forever. I could have stayed there forever and been super happy about it. It felt like I didn't get like a super good look at it because it was all worn and stuff, but it kind of reminded me in a way of like the Garden of Earthly Delights, where I feel like I could just like constantly be finding things to like constantly finding new things about it. I feel like I get that from the Garden of Earthly Delights quite a bit. Like everything, there will always be something new to it. I don't know if there's any way for the peach. Oh, there, peach. Yeah, 3 pineapples. Bad idea, but I'm gonna do it. Oh, dang. And it was probably one of my favorite things I had seen there. Oh, I thought that was going off the plate. Come on, pears hit each other. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, there it goes. So that was my favorite thing that morning. And then to prevent getting any like major headaches or anything, we left and went to get something to eat. We walked around some more. That would have been funny if I would have just lost right there. Went to get something to eat, walked around. What's supposed to happen? And it started raining, and then we're like, oh yeah, let's go back to the museum. And apparently everybody had that idea. Because we got back there, and in the rain, there was a line that wrapped around the entire building. And that building was huge. It was literally like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. It was crazy. Then we ended up going another day, which was a lot of money. Didn't want to spend that much money. And then we ended up spending more money, which hurt my wallet quite a bit. Spent money that I didn't exactly have. And it was pretty great. We went to the what do you call it? It was the modern section first. We went like modern art, and like seeing like Pollock and stuff like that. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Starts with an R. I actually had people in chat that could tell me. But seeing these modern painters in real life is completely different. There was actually a book I read recently. Well, I didn't read it all. I can't say a book I read recently. But it's a book of essays by an art critic. And said something. I'm trying to decide if I should go find the book, because I know it's in the pile of books behind me. It's called Nothing If Not Critical, if I remember correctly. Which is a reference to Ovid, I believe. Anyway, he, in a rather crass way, described seeing arts in print versus art in art in real life. He described it as the difference between sex and phone sex. And in his essay, he was saying that was the reason why Australian artists were having a hard time, because they didn't have a lot of prints available to them, or they didn't have a lot of like the real life stuff available to them. And I was like, are prints really that hard to come by? Or not prints, dang it, I'm doing it again, but is these art so hard to, like, is the difference between looking at a print or on the computer or in a book or whatever really that much of a difference? And after going to the Met and seeing a lot of famous paintings, I also saw a lot of Picasso, I saw a lot of Salvador Dali, and I can say, yeah, it is wildly different seeing it in a book versus real life. Because I think most of the museums I've gone to haven't had very famous painters, at least not like the Met. But even he was talking about the decline of the Met's. What would you call it? It was with the like excess of buying paintings, like how much money people were spending on paintings was making the Met lose its stuff. I don't really know. I read the essay right before I left, and it has been over a month because I was sick as well. It's my cat. But it was, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how people do it. My favorite part was definitely Impressionists, but I didn't get to look there long enough because I love Impressionist works so much. But I didn't get to be there for long. It was also super hot in the museum. That was a part of it. The reason why I didn't want to be in there long, because like it was kind of getting to me. The heat was. But the Impressionists were so good. My brother found a new painter that he likes, Pizarro, I think his name is. I want to say I haven't heard of him because I actually feel like I have. I just wasn't very familiar. And he kind of does the Impressionist, like, kind of almost Van Gogh-ish style, but like painting the everyday peasant life. And his paintings are really good. I just really like Impressionist style, so I'm very biased. But I feel like that's okay. Should be over here. Come on, guys. You're so close to touching. So many pairs. Well, it's just a pair of pairs. Now it's a lot. Dang. Maybe this will do it. Yeah. Back to a pair of pairs. I saw Van Gogh. I saw Cezanne. I saw Goblin, I think. It was incredible. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I was just lost in a daydream walking through the Impressionists, and I wanted to keep looking. Renoir. Found some Renoirs. I remember telling my brother about, like, Cezanne and, what's his name? The author. Oh, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Emile Zola? Is that his name? I'm gonna look it up real quick. I feel like that's the name of a book and not his actual name. His name's Emile, I know that. Emile Zola. Yes. I remember telling... Can't believe I forgot his name. I remember telling my brother, just giving him a little history lesson when we were looking at Cezanne, about how him and Emile Zola used to be really good friends until he wrote The Masterpiece, which is a book about artists, and it was obvious that Cezanne was supposed to be the artist, or one of them, and it kind of strained their relationship quite a bit. And I was actually surprised how much of the paintings and authors I knew strictly from reading fiction books. I didn't expect that. Aww. Then I met this little old lady. She walked up to me. She came up. I mean, she had like kyphosis, I think, so she was kind of hunched over a little bit. But she came up to, like, I don't even think my, like, armpit. Like, she was very tiny. And just walked up and started talking to my brother, and then I walked over to them because I was like, ooh, art talk. And I also needed to get out of my shell a little bit. And I was just enjoying the Impressionists so much. I want to go back so bad and actually take like a proper look around, not a quick little glance, because we were on a time crunch for the second time we were viewing, which is why we were kind of frantic to get out of there. But we were looking at a Renoir at that point, And she was just like, it's beautiful, isn't it? And I was like, yeah. And then we were talking about Impressionists a little bit, and I was like, I'm getting my steps in. I was like, walking up, looking at them, reading the plaque, and then walking back to see the Impressionists in their full glory. And then she was like talking about how she does tours there, and her 4 ends with Impressionists, and she says every time they don't even walk around because they're all too tired. She's like, little old lady like me can do it, they can do it too. And she was super knowledgeable and really fun to talk to. And I asked her if there was one painting I should go see, and she said Washington crossing the Delaware, but she informed me it was on the other side of the building. So we just talked about Renoir, and she was like, in this painting, I forget which one it was, the 2 kids in it were actually a boy and a girl. She was like, do you know how I know that? And I was like, I do not. They look like 2 little girls. And then she told me about the fashion of the time, and like how boys were dressed as girls until a certain age or something. And it was very, like, I don't know, it was just such an experience to have a tour guide talking to you about the painting. And then I saw this other tour guide talking, and kind of felt bad because it felt like the people weren't as enthused as I would have been. But the painting he was talking about was great, and I just kind of stopped in with the tour for a second. Just watched. I don't know if that's like an ethical thing to do, but I did it. Dang. Not very eloquent today because I was not expecting to stream today. Didn't get my brain ready. The modernists were really fun. There were a few that I like. There was this one painting. I forget the name. I had it memorized, but I forgot it. It's probably in my phone somewhere. There was so much depth to this painting, and it just felt like a mastery of craft without actually painting anything specifically. But the use of color, the use of color, the use of depth. I went like, the painting was right next to a doorway, so I went and stood in the doorway and looked sideways at the painting. Because I just couldn't believe it wasn't made with like a palette knife, because that's what it looked like. But it was not. There was no depth to it, and it was so gorgeous. Saw a few others like that in the modernist section. Dang it again. I do remember my brother liking Salvador Dali, one of his paintings. It was his favorite in the area. And I remember him just like offhandedly, I was like, jabbed at him for liking a fascist's painting. He was like, is he a fascist? And I was like, he was complicated, but yeah, essentially. In a nutshell, yeah. I feel like I have so much of this trip in my head. I'm trying hard, dang it, to get it out in the right way. Oh, I saw the like Papua New Guinea outfits as well, garb or whatever they were, like religious garb, and I didn't realize how heavily Near Replicant was inspired by those outfits and the way they danced and everything in them. And I've seen other, I think I saw somewhere in Africa at a different museum had similar outfits, and I thought they were really, really cool. I don't know if saying outfits is disrespectful. Hope not. I feel like I want an apple over here. Dangerous. Fine. No, don't fall. Scary. Thing's balanced over there. I just push it. No. But yeah, I really want to go back and see all the Impressionists again and like just properly walk through there. And obviously, I'm gonna have to see Washington crossing the Delaware because somebody told me to. When I went to New York for that, I took a Greyhound. Trying to save a little money. The money's all gone now because I had to get a plane back because the Greyhound was the most hellish experience. I don't know if it just decided, like, I don't know if this is how Greyhounds always are, but it felt like the world decided that everything was gonna be a little off kilter. First of all, I think this is a normal thing. There's such little legroom. Like, it's a bit bad how little legroom there is. I'm not tall. I'm not a tall person. I am pretty average height, I think. And I had not only my feet crunched up to my chest, but also like splayed out just to try and get some legroom. The heat on every bus I went on, well, no, not the heat. The like AC on every bus I went on was broken, and I had like 12 different buses to go on. Not really, not that many. That's an over-exaggeration. But too many that you guys are supposed to touch. Nice. Dang it again. But yeah, it was so awful. So it was hot. It was like, I don't know how, I was one of the younger people on those buses, and I'm not super young. I was one of the younger people, and I have no idea, zero idea how the elderly were on the bus, because like I was genuinely drenched in sweat by the time I, like 12 hours later, all said and done, I was, actually it was more than, it was all together, I think the bus ride was like 18 hours. For various different reasons. We had a bunch of different stuff going on. I just don't know how the elderly did it, because my legs were cramped, like, felt like I should have been having a stroke or something. and it was just so bad. I had a massive headache. I was genuinely drenched in sweat by the time it was all said and done, and it was so gross. So gross. And I just don't know how they did it. And it didn't seem like other people had as much of an issue. Maybe I'm just weak. But it was bad. Wonder if I'll ever get a pineapple to throw. I also got, so I got a, used up the rest of my money to get a plane ticket back. They actually weren't that expensive. I was very surprised because I wasn't going to do it, and I was like, I really don't want to take this bus back. Like, that was a highway to hell bus. Like, it was, I mean, I think the main problem, honestly, like, I could have done with the legroom, but for me, it was the lack of any sort of ventilation. Like, it smelled awful, and there was no wind blowing in any way, and it was probably 90 degrees in that bus for, like I said, I was in there for hours on end. People weren't bad, though. People were actually kind of nice. I think I was only sketched out, like, a few times. Which, you know, I feel like the amount of crazy things you hear about greyhounds, I was much more worried. One guy at one of the stops came over to us and told us that he just walked over and was like, "You guys aren't from around here." We're like, "No, we are not." Good guess, detective. And he was like, "Don't stay here." We're like, "What?" And he's like, "You guys are young. You have your whole future ahead of you. Don't stay here." And we're like, "Noted." Goodness. And then he kind of told us why. Said it was just kind of like a bad area. Shouldn't be around there. It's terrible, and like your wallet and everything. Honestly, super nice warning. And then like an hour later, because we're waiting for our bus, and the inside of the bus station was horrifically crowded. Don't fall. An hour or so later, he comes out, drops his little wallet thing on the ground, and goes, "I'm buying you guys a ticket." And we're like, "What? We already have tickets. We're just waiting for our next stop." He's like, "You have your, he's like, "You guys have your tickets?" Like, "Yep, we have our tickets," and we even showed him. He just said something like, he couldn't in his, oh goodness, I'm really pushing that off the edge. He couldn't in like the goodness of his heart. Dang it. Let us like stay there essentially. No. And honestly, like, he was definitely not in the right state of mind. It was really nice. He wanted us to get out of there, and we did eventually. Sorry, drinking water. My brother, well, first of all, he told us a lot about where he was from. My brother helped some Indonesian guy get a ticket, and I felt bad because like I used to know how to say hello in Indonesian, and I forgot it as soon as I saw him. Bad. Everything cleared from my mind because I'm terrible in social interactions. But yeah, the people were really nice. Then in New York, what else did I do? Oh, this made me think something funny. I got like a milkshake or something like that from this place. We like ordered it. It was just kind of something, I guess. I think we were just kind of hungry and looking for something. And I didn't really want a milkshake, but I think they were like had a deal on them. And I was read the flavors. And there weren't many, but there was a strawberry shortcake flavor. I was like, sure, go with that. This was not strawberry shortcake. This was a strawberry milkshake with little bits of birthday cake in it. And it was hilarious to me. It was not strawberry shortcake at all. I did go to Kinokuniya, the bookstore, I think that's what it's called, and get some books. Kind of terrible, honestly. Like, I'm not upset because I went to a bookstore. It's really hard to be upset when going to a bookstore. Like, as long as I get books, I mean, I can't be upset. But problem was that it was so crowded and such a poorly designed bookstore, the Kinokuniya in New York, in my opinion. It was like, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. So, first of all, I know it was packed. I knew it was going to be packed. But they didn't have a plan for it being packed, it seemed. Like, they just didn't seem to have any sort of plan for it to be packed. And I don't know how to explain this. There just wasn't a lot. I was expecting so much more out of Kinokuniya because I feel like it's such a talked about place. But one of the, like, there was, I didn't even know there was a basement until I was leaving. In all fairness, that's probably because it was so crowded that, like, I didn't see that, I guess. That's a little bit not on me, actually. No, it's not. I'm not taking blame for that. I think my cat's awake. But I had to physically move people. I think one of the most irritating parts of being there was, like, other people's social awareness, I guess. Like, I get it, you're looking at a bookstore. But one, the aisles were barely big enough for me to crouch down and look at the shelves, like the bottom shelves. So that was a part of the issue. Like, it was hard to look around at the shelves without being in someone's way. Like, normally, I feel like when you're crouching in a bookstore and you're looking at shelves, someone can get around you. But this one, in several spots, there weren't. And, like, there were a lot of things on display in junctions, like, between the aisles that kind of froze everything up, and the staff was, at least the staff upstairs, did not care to help anyone at all. But I had to physically move people, and that was getting on my nerves. I was like, I shouldn't have to move people. Like, I got trapped in an aisle multiple times, and one of them, there was just this group of people, like 5 people, swarmed around the spot, and they weren't even looking at books, they were just chatting. They were just chatting with each other, and I was like, guys, it's crowded. Like, I get it, it's hard, but it's crowded. Please just take your conversation outside if you're not going to look at books, because it's shoulder to shoulder in here, and you guys are literally blocking up one walkway aisle and 3 aisles of shelves, like, just with the way they were clumped and where they were clumped at. And I went to move one way, and there was a line of people, so I went to go that way. And I used my manners. I was like, excuse me, can I get through? Pardon me. Nothing. And I was like, hey, I just need through right there. Nothing. Not even acknowledging me. Put my hand like in between their arm and the shelf and kind of like weaseled my hand a little bit. I was like, excuse me, I need to get through. Nothing. They didn't even acknowledge me. So I felt bad and I was irritated that I had to do this. Just grabbed both of their shoulders and physically moved them to the side and stepped out of the aisle. And I was like, sorry. And just moved them to the side and stepped out of the aisle. And they didn't even acknowledge my existence. I was so confused. And I did that like 3 times in there. Just trying to get around, like, and people just completely ignoring me, not even trying to make room. And it wasn't only me that this was happening to. I saw a lot of people like just ignoring when somebody wanted through. Like, I understood it was shoulder to shoulder, but you can still get out of the way a little bit. And it was a very frustrating experience because I just wanted to look at books. And I couldn't find a lot of Japanese books. Their light novel shelf was not very big, even in English. And then I found this little sign that said, if you want more books like this, check out the basement. And I was like, there is a basement? So I had to go and find that. And then more people, yep, my cat's awake. Then more people came out more people followed me to the basement. Come on up, little buddy. But I did end up getting books, and it was awesome. I got some books. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go feed my cat real quick and see if that satisfies him. Back. Just fed my cat. Hopefully that satisfies him for a moment. Yeah, Kinokuniya. I do want to go back to the thing because I want to look at the. I was once again on a time crunch, and I feel like that was maybe something that made part of that trip a little less enjoyable. But yeah, I was just kind of upset with the general happenings of Kinokuniya. And a lot of it was on the people, but it also didn't help that the staff, like, almost seemed like they were refusing to help people, at least upstairs. Oh no. Don't fall. But yeah, I did get books. I got a few light novels. I'm not that good in Japanese yet. I want to go back when I'm better at Japanese and I can look at their basement area. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That has more Japanese novels. But once I'm better at Japanese. And I want to go when it's less crowded so I can actually enjoy it. It was crowded because of the Nier Orchestra. Dang it. So it was understandable, I just didn't really like the way they handled it all. Dang it. Really pushing my luck. Yeah, I'll probably call it there because my cat needs my assistance. Oh, this is the other thing about Kinokuni that bothered me. It is so outrageously overpriced. I wanted to get art books there. That was the one specific thing I wanted to get there. But they cost more than the art books I was finding online with shipping. I was like, I'll go there, you know, and I'll get some art books so I won't have to pay for shipping. It cost more than with shipping. Like, I'm talking like $20, $30 more than what I was finding online for like every art book that I was familiar with. It was insane. So I was just like, I'm not doing this. I was like, I'm not spending that much more money. I've already spent so much. But I honestly would like to go back. I would like to give it another chance. Let me go check on my cat one more time. How long have I been streaming? Not long, right? Like, yeah, not even an hour. He might be good. Let me go check, because I might be able to keep going. He seems to be pretty awake, so I'm gonna end this soon, and I saw that coming. I mean, I said that at the beginning of the stream. I would like to stream more. I think maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. What is today? Tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, I'll try to stream this little visual novel thing, and then we'll see what I do. But I just got over being like sick for like almost a month. It was probably 3 or 4 weeks that I was sick. And I still have like a bunch of phlegm and like sinus drainage and stuff. So I didn't know how I was going to be able to stream and like without coughing, but I'm doing pretty good. So that's good. And I'm going to have some tea today. Man, there was a lot more things I wanted to talk about. Probably wanted to complain about Kinokuniya more. But I don't know, it's hard. I wouldn't recommend going there for art books, to be completely honest, because they were outrageously overpriced. I don't think the books were too overpriced, but yeah, I really do want to go there and check out the basement where all the Japanese novels are once I'm better at reading Japanese. But after getting sick, it felt like my whole brain has just melted of all things language. But yeah, I'll end it here because my cat is still sick and he needs attention. And yeah, maybe I'll stream tomorrow or the day after a little visual novel thing, because I feel like speaking like this, I can almost naturally plan out the breaks in my speech and things like that. Maybe reading a visual novel will kind of test my voice properly. But yeah. I wish I could have talked about more. Any books I'm reading right now? I'm reading Cyclops by Ranko something, a Croatian author, I believe. And I'm about 30 pages from the end of Kobo Abe's The Boxman, which is pretty good. Can talk about those maybe more another time. Yeah, This was a fun stream. Let's see. It's my thank you for watching screen. Thank you for watching. Slowly getting through everything here. Some VGEN going. It's been a while since I streamed. But yeah. Thank you for watching. I'll be streaming again sometime soon.